Hello, Farmer Life family. How you doing?
Hello.
I am with my two favorite friends in the whole wide world, Tulsi and Holy Basil. That's a joke.
I thought you were going to say Tulsi and your wife, because that's only one friend right there.
You're up there. But you don't clean contaminants, honey. I don't. Maybe you do. I'm not sure. But the Tulsi leaf is truly amazing. Our great friend Stefan posted a Facebook recently where an article talked about how Tulsi was placed in contaminated water, and after 24 hours, the contaminated water had no more contaminants and no more pollutants in it anymore. That is how amazing Tulsi can just sweep water, or any kind of organism that has water in it. And guess what? Human beings are what? We're 75 to 80% water. So it would make logical sense to eat these, make sun teas out of these, or just regular hot teas out of these. These will sweep the system of toxins, as well as, of course, they're green. Of course, so they're going to have lots of chlorophyll, right? So that they're going to sweep the system and going to be a great blood builder. Also, from a spiritual perspective, the pineal gland, we know the pineal gland, fluoride and chemicals and pollutants and contaminants actually calcify the pineal gland and sort of disallow the sixth chakra to open properly. This is an herb that will open the sixth chakra. It will also deepen meditation. The morning spiral, I have a bunch of, just guided by intuition, I have a bunch of holy basil around our morning spiral where we do morning sun gazing. And of course, sun gazing, as we know, I've posted on it before, opens the third eye. It also decalcifies the pineal gland. But this, as far as food goes, is the best herb. If you can get it like this and you can eat the leaves, I think it's the most potent to open up the sixth chakra, that bridge between the spirit and the physical body. This will do it because it really cleans and sweeps the system of contaminants, pollutants. It's really, really amazing. Also,
how do you take it?
I eat the leaves, and then sometimes I'll put it in a pitcher of water and just lay the leaves in water and let it sit there in the morning and night, so sun charge the water in the Tulsi. And what happens is the medicinal value of the Tulsi just sort of seeps into the water, and then you can drink it through the water that way. Has a little more of a mild effect. Also, from an organ perspective now, it's a great liver cleanse, right? Because toxins get filtered through the liver, and so these greens go straight to the liver to help and aid the filtration process. But also the adrenal glands. Mm-hmm. These actually, they've done studies on Tulsi. It actually increases cortisol levels in the body. Now, how many times do we have guests come through here, or how many of you out there are exhausted? You're really tired, right? It's generally because you've been in fight or flight for so long. Like you've been running from something, you just don't know what it is. And what happens is the adrenal glands just get exhausted. And you have a hard time sleeping. There's all kinds of things that can go on. Blood sugar levels can really fluctuate when the adrenals are exhausted. And it's just really hard to function in everyday life. These will help rebuild them slowly but surely, along with, of course, the other spokes of the wheel. But eating these, whether it be in tea form or raw form or hot tea form, will help increase cortisol levels to get those adrenals functioning properly, so the endocrine system, all the glands of the body, can function more properly.
I was recently researching like herbal supplement formulas for adrenal fatigue, and on their ingredient list was holy basil. It was like number 1 or number 2 on their list, and so I just stopped searching on Google. I realized that the medicine I need for adrenal fatigue is right here on my farm.
Yep. It's also anti-arthritic. We have a guy right now that's taking it for a lot of pain, gets a lot of joint pain, and he takes a few of these leaves, and he says in 20 minutes his joint pain goes away. This is truly a medicinal. Now, what's the difference between a medicinal and a food? You can eat bananas. Eat a lot of bananas as part of a healthy way of living, but you can eat 10 bananas, and immediately you won't see a desired result in the body. But you eat this, just a few leaves now, and it will produce a desired result, whether it be a relieving of pain, or whether it be like a meditative state and actually put you into a relaxed state, right? Relaxing the body, because when one's adrenal fatigued, you're always kind of wigged out, you're stressed out a lot. these will actually drop you into a relaxed state, increase the cortisol levels, and allow you to get restful sleep, too, to rebuild and heal those adrenal glands. And that's what this does, and that's why this is a medicinal, because in a short period of time, you can feel the results of what you read that it's going to do, right? Or what we're saying that it's going to do. It's very powerful. It's very strong. I love the taste of it.
It tastes, it's not basil like what we use for Italian cooking.
It's not
this
the
is
basil
holy
in the
basil.
States. Yeah, it's not the basil in the States or what you're accustomed to eating. But that's more of a food. You know, I wouldn't call that a medicinal. This truly is a medicinal. As a matter of fact, in India, they call this tulsi. You know, and I called it tulsi earlier, but in India they call it tulsi. And the yogis would say, eat 5 of these a day and you'll never get an illness. Now, I think there's others, as we know, there's other spokes on the wheel.
I mean, the Indians have been recommending this as a medicine for 5,000 years.
5,000 years. This is in Ayurvedic. It connects all the doshas. It's really a connector too, I think, for mind, body, and spirit. It's actually all, you know, it really connects all bodies because it also really quiets the mind before meditation. So the monkey mind slows down a bit. And it really sort of brings you to that higher self if you're using the tulsi to open up the 6th chakra. And then also all the body things that we just talked about that it heals. It's truly absolutely amazing.
And we do use it in our cooking. Like, we could use holy basil when we're making a raw pesto, and maybe we use mainly regular basil, but we'll put in several leaves of this. Mm-hmm. We can use this when we're making our green juices, and we've done some amazing green juicing for our guests, where the green juices is mainly kale and Swiss chard and celery and cucumber, but we'll add a leaf or two of the tulsi or the moringa plant, and a lot of the plants growing on this farm where the plants are growing under the sun, under the moon and the stars, and getting all that universal information and energy. And then we're throwing it into our green juices that our guests are drinking. Yeah,
we have, this in my opinion, my humble opinion, is the mother of all herbs. And in India, they call this as well, the same thing, the mother of all herbs. We have many other herbs on the farm. And I feel that when people come here to heal, it's very important to get these herbs into their body. It really is, because the herbs grow here better than even our greens grow here. Just giving them so much life force energy, and they are truly medicinals. They will go to and attack arthritis. They'll attack colitis. They'll attack cancers. Really, really amazing. And this is truly my favorite. I probably eat 10 to 15 leaves a day. I eat them by the 5s, and wow, that's all I can say. This is incredible. And they grow. These are our 2 best. I mean, they're bushes. These are huge, right? I mean, these are absolutely huge. And it's growing right by our work shed over here. And we haven't treated them with fancy soil or whatever. They were here. Holy basil grows quite wild in this area. And now, of course, we have a lot of different plants growing of the holy basil.
And I think we're slowly learning that there are a lot of plants here that grow kind of wild that maybe some locals think are just weeds and they weed them, but other locals remind us that they're medicines. And the jackass bitters is a great example of that, which is called Gavelina here. And it just grows in the wild. Like, when I decided I wanted to have us growing jackass bitters, I just had to talk to my employees and show them how to identify the plant, because I know it grows wild on this farm. And now we have like 2 or 3 plants that we're taking care of.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't say enough about them. Also, insect repellent. You can take the bud, you can take these buds, rub it in your hand like this, and then just rub it all over your body, and the insects will not bother you. As most of you know, using herbs as companion plants in your greenhouse or by your greens also works really, really well too, right? I mean, you put holy basil, a little bush of holy basil, around your lettuce, for example, or sage or rosemary or anything, it's going to keep the insects from attacking your lettuce or whatever it is, your bok choy or whatever it is down in your greenhouse. So companion gardening, using herbs wherever you are on the planet, really works well.
And we did recently plant some of this around the greenhouse. And part of our motivation to do that was we received the intuition to add these greens into our composting.
Right. Yep.
I'm not sure what the nutritional value then would be for the soil. You know, it really just came intuitively to us.
Or first and foremost, too, the bugs won't, even the worms or anything, when they smell this frequency, they don't want to mess with it. I mean, looking at it right now, you can look at this plant and there aren't bugs on it. There are no bugs on it. You know, in which other plants, you know, you're going to have bugs on. And I just do believe that these herbs have such a strong frequency that insects don't want to mess with them. But for the human being to ingest, wow, incredible.
There's another one, because you were talking about how this cleans the pineal gland and the sixth chakra, but we have another one that does the ground chakra. So can you talk about that?
Well, let's move on. Let's show it. Let's show you this stuff.
Okay.
Let's move on.
So now we're at the Gotu Kola,
Yes.
and we have a very small patch of it. Someone accidentally weeded our patch of Gotu Kola.
Well, you know it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, but a lot of times, a lot of people think these are weeds, like you were saying about the tulsi, and then they'll just cut it out, and they'll think it's in Spanish they call it mala herba, like a really bad herb, but it's not. And this is Gotu Kola, and it actually, you know, the brain likes light. It really does. It likes prana, and Gotu Kola cleanses and purifies the brain. It really opens the brain up for the experience, for that out-of-body experience. And here it is. We don't have much of it right now, so we have to wait until it proliferates. But it really, really opens the crown chakra and opens you up to the higher self. And so both, I would say, the tulsi and the Gotu Kola really work hand in hand, using them both if one is on a spiritual journey. It's also really great for headaches.
And memory.
Yeah, really, really fantastic for memory. Really good. You know, it's better than your ginkgo biloba. You know, everyone uses the ginkgo, which is a really good herb. But this is just fantastic. It really improves, like someone has, let's say, a low thyroid or something like that, and memories. People have really hard times with remembering things if they are hypothyroid. This will really help improve that, that's for sure. Let's move on a little bit. Right above it, and it really flourishes here in Costa Rica, is spearmint.
We also have mint. Peppermint and spearmint.
We also have mint too. And these mints are great for the digestive system. They're really nice tasting, right? I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, how many, like, you go to a restaurant or whatever and they give you a mint afterwards, you know? It's just nice to kind of
It settles the stomach.
You know, it settles the stomach nicely. So the spearmint and the mint and the peppermints do that. It really settles the stomach, really moves through the digestive system, relaxing it, allowing someone that maybe even has some constipation to kind of release. And that's good.
We have over here aloe, and we have so many of these plants because it gets used. People come to the tropics and they think it's a cloudy day and it doesn't matter, but we're 9 degrees from the equator, so there's quite a bit of sunburning happening, right?
Yeah.
And so we tell people to either put on coconut oil or aloe, of which we have ample of both down here. So there's a beautiful aloe plant.
It's also a high ormus food, by the way, and I know I've done a YouTube before about ormus and orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements. But it really, I mean, if you use it a little bit in your juices, stuff's a little bit bitter, right? But as we know, the bitters move you over into that alkaline state, that expansive state, that right hemisphere of the brain. All of these herbs do. That's why they work so well. That's a really high ormus food that you can put in your smoothies, right? You can mix up in your fruit smoothies. And it's a way of getting all that rhodium and iridium and platinum and ruthenium and some of those monoatomic elements that are really, really good to produce more light through your body.
This is purslane.
Purslane.
And what's interesting about purslane is it's just about the only leafy green that has omega-3 fatty acid in it. So I know a lot of people say, oh, vegans, how do you get your protein? How do you get X, Y, and Z?
Tons of
and
that.
People say we're not getting our omega-3 because we don't eat fish. Well, here is a green. When I make my green juices, I put several stems of this in every day. So I'm getting omega-3. And I know, like for me, having arthritis and having had asthma, both of which are treated by taking supplements of omega-3. Well, here's my supplement. I put it in my green juices.
It's good stuff.
There's also, can we talk about the edible shrubs? So this Costa Rica has this amazing phenomenon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's, you know what, and two, we can talk about, the papaya trees and how they grow in here. But the edible shrubs are amazing. This here is called Cranberry hibiscus. And, gosh, when I was a kid, if any of you went to 7-Eleven, I know all of you are going to say yes to this if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, but I used to go to 7-Eleven as a kid, and I used to love those tart sour balls. You know, they were kind of tarty sour. this has a flavor just like that. It sort of brings you back to that time period when you were eating a lot of those when you were a kid. They're really high in vitamin C, high in antioxidants, great in salads, great for herbal teas. Absolutely fantastic.
So this concept, too, of an edible bush, like we don't really have this in North America, and it's really fascinating. I mean, look at the root of this. This thing is, it would be a tree if that roof wasn't there inhibiting it.
Yeah.
But every leaf on here can go into a salad. So you might see how difficult it might be to just grow little heads of lettuce, right? But then here's this tree of edible leaves that, taste like it's sweet and sour.
Down here in Costa Rica, I would definitely say that your edible shrubs, even your hibiscuses, your malvas, because they're in the okra family, the leaves and the flowers are all edible. These can grow outside. Your edible shrubs like this, like the cranberry hibiscus. Another one over here is Katuk, which is another one. It's very, it's similar to Purslane because it's really high in protein. It's got a really nutty flavor. It's got an absolutely fantastic taste.
That's Katuk.
There it is right there. And it grows, again, like all over the place. You don't need a greenhouse. Greens are a little more difficult. They're a little more tricky to grow down here in the tropics. Fruit trees, plant, grow. Herbs, plant, they grow really great, as you've seen.
That's the base of the Katuk. So you can see it's not just a little lettuce bush.
No.
It is a tree. And every leaf here tastes like peanuts, kind of.
Absolutely. Edible shrubs, plant, grow. But in the greenhouse, boy, you really got to watch. You've got to watch your nitrogen levels. You've got to really make sure the soil is perfect. And you pull your hair out with it. Look, my hair's gone.
Something about the Katuk is it's considered to be really super high in chlorophyll.
Yep.
And also vitamin C. So I often use this in my juicing too. And here on this farm, we're not consuming superfoods. We're not taking spirulina and green powder supplements.
Well, the superfoods that they call, this is it. These are our superfoods. The superfoods, we know everything is energy. Everything is just energy, right? So if we all agree to that, then the superfoods would be pick it, and within a half an hour before it starts to lose some of its life force energy, eat it. And so if you're doing that, if you're in that flow, you're going to get the high life force energy, and then your backyard garden is superfoods, right? The little herb garden you've got, or the tomato you picked. The foods that you plant that you can pick and eat become your superfoods. And of course, here at the Farm of Life, we've got a lot of different superfoods because we're growing a lot of different food. Last but not least here on this video, let's show you the papaya.
Right, by detour. That's an echinacea. I know you all have bottles of echinacea in your cabinets. I do.
Look at that. That's growing really well. Absolutely.
Papaya.
A great detoxifier as well, right, with echinacea.
Everything of that plant, the fruit, the seeds, and the leaves
are
all medicinal.
Here, what I find interesting is, check this out. Like this guy here is kind of really bending over, but it's kind of moved a little bit. But if you look at this papaya tree right here,
I got it.
These papaya trees.
That's a line of papaya trees.
Yeah, these papaya trees were grown what we call shotgun gardening. And the papaya trees down here in the tropics, and probably Florida in the subtropics too, they're grown best as shotgun gardening. Meaning, you eat a papaya, you throw it in your compost bin, it starts to grow, and then you throw it in your bed, your garden bed, and then it starts to grow. And what's amazing, talk about, if anybody thinks that a plant doesn't have consciousness, they can take a look at this. Because look at the papaya and look at the roof of the greenhouse. So if you swing it over there, I mean, look at how it needs more light. It needs a lot more light than let's say what's next to it, the broccoli, right? The broccoli just sits up straight. That's all the sun it needs through the filtration of our greenhouse. But the papaya tree figured out and just kind of said to itself, man, I need more sun than this. And so it swings out through our fence and goes up and around the roof to get more sun. Truly, truly amazing, the consciousness of a plant. I mean, I think that is sort of a telltale sign right there of exactly the power and the intelligence of plants, because it was looking for life force energy, light.
And what happened was we would put down our fresh soil in the greenhouse, and all these papaya sprouts. I mean, thousands of papaya sprouts. And so we let the ones on the border continue to grow, and then we kind of let the strongest one, the tallest one, grow. And we kind of kept a papaya tree every meter or so as a boundary of our greenhouse. But other than that, we weeded all the papayas out because it's not where we want them growing.
And if you take a look, this is a better example. I mean, eventually we're going to have to cut this one down because obviously a rainstorm kind of pushed this one down a little bit. But just to add to papayas, papayas are really great. The fruit is actually really great for the digestive system. It's a great colon sweep, colon broom.
Papain enzyme.
Yes, that's really good as an anti-inflammatory. The seeds are great to eat, although I really don't like the taste. They're kind of peppery, but other people that love pepper, I mean, you can eat the seeds. They're really great for anti-parasitics, really great to get rid of parasites. The leaves, which I've just really been informed down here, if you juice the leaves, it's really great for the very rare illness down here in the country of Costa Rica. But for dengue fever, it's actually really good to increase. Dengue fever, what it does, it really attacks the blood and really lowers the blood platelets. And they can get very dangerously low, and you have to get hospitalized. But even better than blood transfusions, which is what a hospital would do if you came down with again, it's very rare to get dengue fever down here, but if you were to get it, the best possible way to treat it is naturally, because there's no way you can treat it with pills. The best possible way to treat it is papaya leaf juice from a machine, juice from a nutbag cloth, from a blender, you name it, however way you do it. Papaya leaf juice is excellent for dengue fever. It's really, really amazing results, and you can actually look that up online too. It's incredible. And so the papaya tree is just a gift for us, and all this is.
It is all, and I think probably every month we could introduce you to another 20 plants, but we don't have time. And we're slowly, just as we go along here in Costa Rica, we learn more and more about what's really available to us from nature.
We're learning all the time, and what I've really learned just recently, and actually I can thank Dr. Robert Morse. When I interviewed him, I mean, he gets great results, and he was like, one of the reasons why I think I get really great results because he does the fruits, he does the green juices, but he uses the herbs. He uses the herbs, and he uses dried herbs. And he told me as I was interviewing him, he was like, man, you've got the raw herbs. Man, just eat the leaves, and have your guests eat the leaves. And we've been getting really excellent results as well with using the herbs, juicing the herbs, making teas out of the herbs, and eating the leaves. And so thank you so much, Dr. Morse. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for listening to this. Much love. Adios.